Hello, patrons and carnies. I am Creepy Clown Girl, the owner of this carnival of horror. Please let me direct your attention to the big dark tent at the end of the midway. Today I present to you a tale of the Shoeless Outlaw, written by Reaper's Horror and narrated by GenSen. A link to their channels will be in the description below. So grab them there forks and get ready to dig into this spaghetti dish with a Western twist.
Shoeless McGee and One Bald Bobby were the wildest, rowdiest outlaws around. They were known as the 𝐸𝐸𝐸 brothers. They were named after the toilet of the town they called home, Dogwater Gulch. The people would always say that even the Old West couldn't handle outlaws like them. The two outlaws went from town to town, holding up banks, stagecoaches, and even the Pony Express. It wasn't easy being outlaws. They spent their days riding horses and their nights running from the law. Shoeless McGee was named after the fact that the dumb bastard refused to wear any shoes. It wasn't out of choice either. The reality was that there just was no shoe size ever in stock at the local mercantile. Old Shoeless McGee was well known for leaving bloody footprints all over the place at his crime scenes. Poor old One Bald Bobby had a more tragic backstory. That poor fella lost one of his testicles in a bar fight. He was caught cheating in a game of cards with a rival gang leader. This infuriated their leader so much that he took a bottle of booze, smashed it on a table, and stabbed Bobby right in the nutsack. Bobby lived to fight another day, but he was only half the man he used to be. From that day on, everyone knew what had happened, and he ended up with the nickname One Bald Bobby. Shoeless McGee was hard as the devil's toenails. He liked to sleep outdoors under the moonlight, in the canyons, or in the salt flats somewhere near another town name other than Gulch, in the murky waters of the Wash Your Ass River. Now, One Bald Bobby was a lot more soft-headed than his brothers McGee. Bobby had a hankering for a cozy bed and a nice bath, so he could wash off his lonely testicle. But no innkeeper anywhere in their right mind would let these two outlaws in. So once a month, the 𝐸𝐸𝐸 brothers would sneak inside the 𝐸𝐸𝐸 water house when the church wasn't in service, and Bobby would wash his lonely testicle in the holy water. Not so for his brother. Shoeless McGee, he liked to keep his body as rank as a dog's behind. It was a lonely life, being outlaws as they were, but at least they had each other. They were more than brothers. They were the best of friends, drawn together like flies are drawn to a cow pie. Nothing could separate these two, not even death. Now, death is an interesting topic to bring up, for that's what this story is about. But we'll get to that later, as our tale progresses. We'll begin our story where every story starts, in the middle. It all started that afternoon. The two brothers held up Dogwater Bank, looking to make their biggest haul ever. With their hands up, one of the main tellers stopped Shoeless McGee, as he and his brothers were about to leave the bank with the loot. "You'll rot in hell for your crime," she whispered in his ear. She barely got out the final whimper before old Shoeless McGee blew her brains out with his pistol. "I'll see you there, sweet cheeks," chirped Shoeless McGee, with a grin. Chunks of brain matter and blood went everywhere, and covered the face of the man that stood behind her. He was in such a shock that he fell to the floor, curled up like a pathetic child, and pissed himself. "Look at that stupid idiot that peed in his darn pants." Shoeless laughed Bobby. "What a dang fool he is." McGee cackled loudly. The two outlaws jumped on their horses and hot-hoofed it right out of there. "Yeehaw!" the brothers howled at the sky, and they were off. "Darn those bastards, 𝐸𝐸𝐸 brothers," the bank teller shouted, and those were my only pair of long johns. For days and nights, the outlaws rode their horses. They ran across hills and canyons. They did their very best to outrun the law. But every time the two outlaws looked back, they saw Sheriff Joe Bare Bottoms and Deputy John Shit for Brains were hot on their tails. "Oh, crud monkey," One Bald Bobby cried out. "They're gonna get us for sure. We need something to spook these bastards off our asses," said Shoeless McGee. "But what? What will scare off these crazy fools?" he asked his brother. His brother looked at him but remained silent. "Come on, you one-bald freak. Say something smart for once in your bald life," McGee yelled at his brother Bobby. The two were so distracted by their predicament that they did not notice the edge of the cliff nearing closer. But the sheriff and deputy weren't foolish enough to continue the chase. "Ha! They're backing off," Shoeless McGee shouted over his shoulder. "What cowards they turned out to be, huh?" replied One Bald Bobby. Unfortunately, they were still riding at full speed towards the cliff. Their horses ran right up to the edge of the cliff and reared. One Bald Bobby was thrown backwards off his horse and onto the ground behind them. His brother Shoeless McGee, however, was much less fortunate. He too was thrown off his horse, but he was thrown forward and right over the edge of the cliff. He fell nearly 15,000 feet right down to the side of the mountain. No man could survive such a fall, not even one heartless as Shoeless McGee. "Oh no, Shoeless McGee, my brother!" screamed One Bald Bobby in horror, but it was too late. His brother's body laid motionless at the bottom of the cliff. Shoeless McGee was dead, gone to this world. One Bald Bobby no longer had a brother to call his own. He was all alone. Why did you have to die, you shoeless fool?" Bobby cried. There. Dry those tears," said a voice from behind the One Bald Outlaw. Bobby slowly turned his head to see the face of the deceased brother, McGee, staring right back at him. He was pale like a corpse, with dark circles under his eyes, with a ghastly, ghoulish grin smeared across his face. "Brother, but you're dead. I saw you fall to your death," said One Bald Bobby. His tears ran down his cheeks. "You're not wrong, brother, see?" Shoeless McGee said, with a toothy smile, as he pointed to the body that lay at the bottom of the cliff. "Yep, I really am dead. But it turns out that hell has the requirement that a man must come in wearing shoes. And heaven? Well, the less said about that place, the better." The two brothers embraced. Well, at least they tried to embrace. Unfortunately, one cannot embrace a ghost, as One Bald Bobby found out when he hugged the air. "Well, I guess no more tell for me anytime soon," snickered Shoeless McGee. "Oh well, not like I'm getting any in life, as it was, huh, brother?" They both laughed a hearty one at that joke. "So, now that you're a ghost, what do you suppose we do?" asked One Bald Bobby. "Well, I don't really know, my one bald brother. I never really thought I'd die anytime soon," replied Shoeless McGee. "Let's go to Belcher's bar so we can both get wasted," answered One Bald Bobby. "Now you're thinking with your brain for once in your one bald life," Shoeless McGee remarked. The two outlaws hopped back on their horses and rode onto town. The townsfolk scattered in terror at the sight of the ghost that rode the horse next to Bobby. Not a soul dared to face the brothers, for none were brave enough, nor foolish enough to go up against a ghost. It wasn't long until the two brothers reached Belcher's bar. They could hear the sounds of drunks burping loudly from inside the building. The two outlaws dismounted and entered the bar, throwing open the saloon doors with a huge banging crash. "Ta-dow!" the two brothers yelled out like proud showmen, as they expected the drinkers to scatter in fright at the sight of a ghost. Alas, the men sitting at the table were far too drunk to be scared. That is, except for one fat bastard that was gorging on a full plate of spaghetti. He began choking on a large meatball that lodged deep down in his windpipe, closing off his airway. He blacked out and fell face first, dead in his plate of spaghetti. "We got one!" shouted Shoeless McGee, as the two brothers attempted to give each other a high five. But one cannot high five a ghost, and so One Bald Bobby hand passed right through his brothers. "Oh well, no high fives either then," shrugged Bobby, in bewilderment. They both laughed as they walked towards the barkeep. This man's jaw nearly hit the floor as the two brothers approached the bar and sat down. "Two of your finest, my man," ordered One Bald Bobby. "One for me and one for my brother, Shoeless McGee." The barkeep did his best to gather himself, despite being scared shitless beyond belief. Only the best will be served to the dead, I suppose. the barkeep said with his wipe to his brow. You know it, said Shoeless McGee, with a ghoulish grin. The two were quickly served, and they each grabbed for their drinks. Bobby chugged down hard, but McGee couldn't seem to grab hold of his mug at all. His fingers passed right through the grip of the glass. He tried and tried, but he could not grab hold of the drink. Shoeless McGee began to cry, for the depths of the situation began to dawn upon him. He could not hug his brother, nor could he high-five him, and now he could not taste the fresh taste of hard liquor. Why, oh God, why, cried Shoeless McGee. He was beyond consoling at this point. There, McGee, it'll be okay. We'll just have to find another thing that you can do still. Even while being a ghost, remarked One Bald Bobby, hugging the air beside him. The two brothers left the bar and rode their horses to the local whorehouse. Side by side, the brothers entered the saloon doors with a bang. They were both greeted with loud shrieks and squeals of terror from the half-naked ladies inside. Howdy, girls, the two brothers said with smiles stretched across their faces. Perhaps this will still get your jollies going, brother, asked One Bald Bobby. You may not be able to grab any, but you can still enjoy a good look. I sure hope you're right, my one bald brother, said Shoeless McGee, hiding a sniffle of doubt. His doubt was quickly replaced with a glimpse of hope, as one of the ladies lost her top as she ran out of the room in horror. Her breast flopped lively as she moved. Boobies. Yeah, I'm down for that, smiled Shoeless McGee. Now you're talking my language, brother, chimed One Bald Bobby. The two brothers went room from room, scaring the clothes off as many ladies as they came across. Tops and bottoms were scattered everywhere, and not a single one of those girls escaped with her clothes intact. The two outlaws were more than pleased with their naughty deeds. They giggled as the women all screamed and threw their naked bodies out into the streets at full speed. They ran down the street stark naked and fright, the moonlight reflecting brightly off their shining rear ends. Ah, hell yeah, shouted the brothers as they gave another failed attempt at a high five. Oh, right, no high fives, One Bald Bobby said with a half laugh. The two brothers slept happily amongst the bras and panties, left behind by the ladies of the house. They both knew that this would be the night neither of them would soon forget. In the morning they awoke from cocking of guns in their face. Reach for the skies, both you bastards, ordered the sheriff. So which one of you should we blow to smithereens first, do you reckon? Asked the deputy. On my mark, let's just shoot them both, answered the sheriff. 1, 2, 3. Both guns fired simultaneously, but only One Bald Bobby's brains splattered onto the bed. No, you killed my brother, cried Shoeless McGee. But the dead man's tears were quickly dried by the cold, icy fingers of another ghostly figure. It was his newly dead brother, One Bald Bobby. There, brother, I'm here now, said Bobby with a smile. How can you be here? Cried out Sheriff Shit for Brains in terror. Don't you get it, you dang fool? They're both ghosts now, replied the deputy. Well, I guess we are, Shoeless McGee said as he looked at his brother. The two ghosts smiled ghoulishly at each other and chuckled. Both the sheriff and the deputy lost all control of their bladders as they ran out of the building. The brothers laughed together. Did you see the way those fools piss themselves? Joked Shoeless McGee as he poked at his brother in the ribs with his elbow. Yeah, I sure did, laughed One Bald Bobby. They both laughed so hard that they were holding on to each other, just to keep each other steady. Brother, I'm sorry we're dead, but at least we have each other, said Shoeless McGee. Yeah, it's okay, I suppose. But you know what they say. You can't keep best friends like us apart. After all, we're brothers, said One Bald Bobby. You're right, Bobby. Brothers need to stick together, said Shoeless McGee. The two brothers were together once more, as they were once in life. They were best friends even in death, and now nothing could separate the two.